Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West. And today is Martial Monday. I remembered. Today we are going to be covering the Paladin Sacred Oath, Oath of the Crown.
This is a Arthurian kind of archetype where it's like, I pledge loyalty to this kingdom and shall protect the king and other things like that. It's it's law and loyalty and courage and responsibility and all that fun crap. It's very on the nose paladin in a lot of ways. This is like the knight archetype, if you will.
This is a paladin's paladin.
Yeah, exactly. I actually think this might be a better representation of like the new era of what Paladin's supposed to look like compared to Devotion, because Devotion's still like, I smite undead and love Jesus. And this is a little bit more of just like, I pledge to defend a cause, which is what Paladins are being reflavored as, retooled to be. So
yeah,
this...
I think it's kind of a lame direction, but...
I disagree. I think we have clerics to do all the godliness, and they're doing plenty of melee stuff. I'm happy Paladins have like I have sworn an oath of vengeance and will die on my hill to track down and murder whoever killed my family.
Whoa. I'm not talking about Oath of Vengeance. I'm talking about this.
Oh, specifically Oath of the Crown,
yes.
You think is lame. Okay, that's fair. I agree. It's very... It is archetypal, is what I will say. So you get, again, the tenets are law, loyalty, courage, and responsibility. I like covering those just because they're like the flavor that's built in with every single one of these oaths. More importantly, though, is the oath spells. So these options, I think, are often overlooked. I say this every single time we talk about one of these, but like they're a really important element of what you're getting whenever you're playing the Paladin, because they're things to do with your spell slots that aren't smiting. So if they're good expansions that let you do different things than the other Paladins, it'll feel it'll feel solid. This list... So you get Command and Compel Duel are your first level options, both of which are Paladin spells already. You get Warding Bond and Zone of Truth as your second level spells, which are fine. Like, I love Zone of Truth more than I should, and Warding Bond is nifty. It's not good, but it's nifty. It can be good. It's tricky. And then the last ones you get are Aura of Vitality and Spirit Guardians, and I like Spirit Guardians. I do not like Aura of Vitality. Of the ones we've covered so far, I think this is the worst spell list. And then you get Banishment and Guardian Faith at 13th level and Circle of Power and Gaius at 70th level. Those matter less because they're like the upper tier stuff, and you're watching your full casters get 7th and 8th and 9th level spells, and you're like, well, I got what the cleric had at 7th level 6 levels later, so that's something, I guess.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, you're getting these alongside decreasingly beneficial other abilities or features in this subclass.
Yeah, notably, so like it's really a bummer. The only like Spirit Guardians are cleric only. The other 5 of these are already accessible to Paladin, which means you're just like auto preparing them, so you're not actually getting anything new outside of Paladin to bring in a specific flavor or archetype. Now, for the option that's supposed to be the most Paladin-y of Paladins, I guess that makes sense that you get like just more auto-prepared Paladin stuff. I would love to see something else, like anything else. Just give me a little bit of a unique direction to take, as opposed to I do kind of the Protector thing and I have a Zone of Truth, which is fine.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Zone of Truth.
Yeah, I know.
I do like Compelled Duel, though.
Compelled Duel is... I still think it's quite bad, but it's like not uncastable bad. The cast time makes it... And it's cheap, so like, sure, whatever. Compelled Duel is fine. It's probably, I think, if like you wanted to do the standing up for an individual, you'd just be like, how dare you offend their honor, Compelled Duel, and then you just charge them down and they don't attack other people, because why would they? And they attack you instead, and you're like, huzzah, my spell might have did something, or maybe they're gonna attack me anyway, it doesn't matter.
I look at it more like the Paladin version of why am I drawing blank on this? No, Vicious Mockery. It doesn't do all the same thing, but no. I could see the flavor of it, in the sort of Paladin that I would play.
Sure.
I'm taunting them to such a degree that they become enraged and have to focus completely on me.
Which seems a little bit off-brand for Oath of the Crown, the way that you would be taunting them, because you would definitely be like mooning them or something, but next time we got our channel divinities with after a relatively lackluster oath spells. So these ones make me sad. So you get these once per short rest. One of them once per short rest. You can get champion challenge. So as a bonus action, you issue a challenge that compels other creatures to battle with you, which
Wait a
isn't
second.
technically true.
How is this different than compelled duel?
Because it doesn't actually impose disadvantage on anything. All this does is say each creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you makes a whiz save. If they fail it, they can't willingly move more than 30 feet away from you. The effect ends if the creature or you're incapacitated or die. If the creature's more than 30 feet away from you. Sure. So like, if they're pushed out of range, if you move out of range, if you're not within 30 feet of them, this will end. They can still move within the 30-foot radius around you. They're not compelled to attack you or anything. They're just like, I guess I failed the whiz save, so I just have to be somewhere remotely close to this guy. And a 30-foot radius is really big. Like, Paladin's whole idea, their auras and stuff, want to be close to their party members. So this doesn't really do anything, right? Like, you have to have, okay, wizard, that corner. You're not going to get my save bonus this time because you're going to be in the corner, so my champion challenge might do something by keeping them off of you. And it's just like it doesn't play that well. In practice, it's just like, I guess they can kind of move where they would want to move anyway on most battle maps, and then sometimes they'll attack me instead of being able to get to somebody else. I don't think it's
I like it. I think it's I mean, it's one of those things. Each creature of your choice. I love those words. Within 30 feet, big area.
That's to its downside, though, right? Because it can move within that giant area.
Yes. However, if you're planning, if you got a plan ahead of this, and you say, all right, you guys stay 30 feet away from me, and you can control to a degree the movement capabilities of a large number of enemies.
So in this plan, you have to say, screw the best feature I get, Aura of Protection, because that gives everyone a flat giant modifier to all their saving throws if they're close to me.
Yes.
So you're saying, I don't want to use this feature.
In this better
feature, I don't want to use it. Go away.
No, this is like, all right, wizard, when I give you the signal, I need you to fireball me. And then you run into the enemies, and like everybody else is hanging back, and nobody wants to mess with you because you're a big badass, but they can't get away from you. They're stuck. They're locked in fireball formation.
The ones that fail the wisdom saving throw of your spell save, you see that uses your charisma, not your strength, which is the score you're maxing, so it's not that high. I don't know. I think all of these factors make it like fireball. Like fireball formation's 20-foot radius. This is so much larger than that.
Well, it's a little bit larger. But I mean, otherwise, all right. I mean, how long does this last?
It lasts until they pass the save.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah.
So sorry, when I say until they pass the save, they cannot move further away from you unless you're incapacitated or die, or they are moved further than 30 feet away from you. So you move them out of range or whatever. So hypothetically, you could just be like, hey, Jimmy, you're not going anywhere anytime soon. You make sure you stay on top of Jimmy, and he fails the wisdom saving throw, and then he's just stuck next to you. So that's kind of cute.
Yeah. I think there's potential for this to be used.
I think it's gimmicky and bad. Turn the Tide is the other channel divinity option you get. So as a bonus action, you can bolster an injured creature with your channel divinity. Each creature of your choice, they can hear you within 30 feet of you, which, hey, we just talked about a channel divinity that wanted things to be away from you. This is one that wants things to be close to you. So, you know, there's some give and take. Maybe you have one of them for one circumstance, one of them for the other. And sure, that could be interesting.
All right, that can hear within 30 feet. Okay.
Yeah. So each creature of your choice that you can hear within 30 feet of you regains hit points equal to d6 plus your charisma modifier if it has no more than half of its HP. So it's like this person's down, one bonus action, everyone comes up. I think this is probably the best of the two. It's readily usable. It's kind of like a mass healing word, stable to your channel divinity at a really cheap rate. That's just fine. That's just like, okay, that's entirely reasonable. I'm pretty happy to take a channel divinity and use it on this. This seems great. This is the best feature so far.
I will grant you, like, if you're not putting any thought into this, yeah, this is the easy one.
I don't think if you're putting thought into Champion Challenge, you can make it good.
I think you can. I think there are, I can't think of any right now off the top of my head, but I think the potential is there.
Call me a skeptic.
All right, like, nobody knows that you use this. So, like, all right.
You issue a challenge that compels other creatures to do battle with you is not exactly subtle.
All right. Never mind. Yeah. All right. I won't go down that road.
Okay, sure. So we're not
Upgraded damage.
subtly using this.
No. But all right. I still maintain. I think it's usable.
I think I like the cute application of putting someone in jail. But that's about it.
Yeah.
Divine Allegiance is what we get at 7th level. So this is starting at 7th level, when a creature within 5 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to magically substitute your own health for that creature, causing that creature not to take damage. Instead, you take the damage. Damage cannot be reduced or prevented anyway. I like this feature a lot. It doesn't play at all well whatsoever with Champion Challenge. Like, it's in fact a nombo with Champion Challenge, because assumingly the thing you're trying to keep alive that you would want to use Divine Allegiance for is right next to you.
Yeah, that's I'm not saying these all will work
together.
Look, how often do you get to do channel divinity?
Once per short rest.
Okay, so you're not doing this every turn.
I really wish that you could apply resistances to this. It's kind of dumb that you can't. If you're gonna like do a cool build where you want to leverage your hit points in an interesting way with features like this, I would expect it to work with other features that you would take for defensive options. The fact that this will get around your own resistances is pretty lame, in my opinion. I would love to see like your wizard gives you protection from energy against the red dragon, and then you use that protection of energy to soak the dragon hits that they would be taking. That seems like a really easy combo that doesn't work with this, which I think is,
that's. I wouldn't call it lame. I think it's appropriate. I don't like, I would much prefer it the other way. However, this is you're soaking up other people's damage. You're taking a beating for your fellow man.
Sure.
You don't get to cheap out on that.
Very different perspective than I was ready for, but yeah, it's just
you're
gonna take all the damage because I'm supposed to take the damage. This is self-flagellation, right? It's like I have to suffer because the king told me to. I'm gonna take the damage for him, and I'm gonna enjoy it because it's my job to be a martyr.
Right. This is like Jesus on the cross, but I have a coupon, so. No, that doesn't work.
Hold on, we need to pause. I need you to walk me through what a coupon does in the crucifixion. You have to walk me through how that helps that situation in any meaningful capacity.
Well, then he gets jailed instead.
So the coupon is half off crucifixion. I just go to prison instead. Obviously, okay, sure. Unyielding Spirit is what we got next. 15th level, you advantage on saving throws to avoid becoming paralyzed or stunned. And this is not a feature. This is 2 niche conditions that don't happen enough that this is worth anything, and it's a bummer that you get it. I really wish you got anything else here, but here we are. Garbage,
agreed.
Useless, terrible feature, real upsetting. We end on Exalted Champion, so this is at 20th level. Your presence on the field of battle is an inspiration to those dedicated to your cause. You can use your action to gain the following benefits for an hour. An hour is a long time. Normally these things last a minute. The like big Captain Paladin thing, so hopefully there's good stuff here. You've resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical weapons. What did we just talk about? Your allies have advantage on death saving throws while they're within 30 feet of you. That's not really a feature because you have a channel divinity to get them all up, but whatever. And finally,
I don't want my 20th level feature to be usable only when my whole party is dying.
Yeah,
I want
agree.
a feature that keeps that from happening.
It also says you have advantage on wisdom saving throws, as do your allies within 30 feet of you. That's pretty compelling text. I think that and of the first text are very compelling for the duration that it gives you. The effect ends early if you are incapacitated or die, which is a bit sad because if you want to be taking damage, sometimes you're getting incapacitated, and if that happens, you're like, RIP my 20th level feature. This probably could have just ended when I die instead, but whatever.
And also, your allies have advantage on death saving throws. I mean, if they're all going down, you're the one that's been intentionally soaking up hits.
Yeah, hypothetically, you should have stopped that from occurring in the first place, because everything you get suggests that's supposed to occur, right? So.
Yeah, I was looking. Normally, I'm a sucker. I get these rose tinted glasses. I look at these effects and I say, ooh, but even I just saw straight through this one. This is
okay. Exalt the Champion isn't the worst. Advantage on all whiz saves, but also for your team, and the damage resistance is fine. It lasts an hour, which is a long time. It isn't amazing. It's definitely worse than all the ones we talked about prior, but it's fine. It's not like the end of the world. The death saves is entirely moot, but the other 2 talent attacks you get is relevant for the
duration. All right, whoa, go back to resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical weapons.
Yeah, no, okay.
You're right. 20th level.
Yeah. Non-magical is pretty rough. Yeah. No, you're right about that. Yeah, okay, maybe you are right. Maybe this is just hot trash.
I mean, are you fighting bears?
Yeah, not anymore. Okay, so yeah, So it's basically your team has advantage on wisdom saving throws.
Yes, that's it.
Which is fine. Like, that's not a level 20 feature still. It does stack with again, Paladin's Aura Devotion or Aura Protection, which is cute. So you'll be advantage and a giant buff from your Charisma to save. So things aren't failing wisdom saving throws when they're around you anymore, which is neat. But they weren't anyway because they were adding +4 or 5 to them. So yeah, okay, this is a pretty garbage top tier feature. It's not unusable, it's just not good. It's like a 2 in terms of features. Collectively, everything here, Banishment is good enough at 13th level to be like, this is worth a 4th level spell slot for the tier, but that's the only one that I think is relevant as far as like Circle of Power, Gaius, and Guardian of Faith goes. Those aren't good enough for the comparative tier that you're in, at least compared to what the full casters are doing, which is where I try and compare top tier features to, because you're playing the same game. Yep. That leaves, like, in the early game, you're left with Oral Vitality. Spirit Guardians at 9th level is iffy, and you're left with like Warding Bond and Zone of Truth, which we don't love. I think Warding Bond is neat. I think Zone of Truth is neat. I don't think either are good. Right? So you get like Turn the Tide as a Channel Divinity that's pretty solid. You get Divine Allegiance, which is an interesting feature, and that's kind of it. Yeah,
I mean, I still maintain
the worst one we've talked about so far.
There are potential for champion challenge. However, that's not going to really, give too many points on my final rating.
You are aware that restricting movement doesn't do any damage, nor does it like apply conditions, right?
Yes, I am aware of this. I'm saying there are strategies out there that you could use this to take advantage of. I'm not saying it's not going to work every time. I'm not saying it's going to
work most of the time.
Yeah, it might if you know how to use it and you think about it a lot beforehand.
Okay, commoners, hit us with your builds that make great use of Champion Challenge. I'd love to see it because I don't believe they're good.
I'd like to see that too. I have faith in you. I think some of you will come up with something.
Am I grading this first or are you grading this first?
Let's see. All right, Unyielding Saint is nothing. Exalted Champion, something, but not nearly enough for a 20th level feature. Not
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, Divine Allegiance is really the only interesting thing, and that's just like,
the thing is,
I'm gonna take a beating for a friend, and
like it's not even necessarily good, right? Because it doesn't give you bonus hit points or anything like that. It just lets you technically leverage your hit points more effectively.
Yeah.
For a whole 7th level feature, that's still not a lot. And if you're ever in encounters where like the party's expected to take the party amount of HP worth of damage, that just means you go down a little bit faster than everyone else does. Which is, if there were more way, like if you could interact with resistances or like make meaningful use of it beyond just guaranteeing you're taking the damage, I think it'd be a little bit more interesting. I guess your high AC kind of mitigates the damage because you can take more attack rolls that you aren't getting hit. I don't know. It's definitely the best feature here and still kind of like,
Yeah, for that, I'll give it a C-. I'm not thrilled with this, and I'll add just like the lame flavor too.
I think C is accurate. I don't think this is. I think Turn the Tide, Divine Allegiance, and some of the spells are like fine. And if you want to do the Paladin thing and you don't really care about not getting a 15th level feature and you just want to smite things and protect your friends, this has more relevant features in more total campaigns, I think, than Devotion probably does. Because Devotion really is like, I'm just doing the undead killing thing. So this is probably a fine alternative for more campaigns than Devotion. Now we're going to review Devotion in the future. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll be like, actually, this option's way better than Crown. But this isn't unusable. It's just not great. So I think C is fair.
All right. Well, that was Oath of the Crown. Let us know what you think down in the comments. And thank you, Sam. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns and Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.